Hi, this is part 2 of guitar tutorial for the song Imagine by John Lennon, which discusses how to play the verses and the refrain. Click this card to learn how to play the intro of the song, and also how to read tablature, and also how to finger pick. So check out part 1 first, and then come back to this part. All the verses, verse 1, 2, and 3, are played exactly the same. So I'll just discuss how to play verse 1. Each verse is 12 measures long. The chord sequence C add 9, F major 7/C that you have learned for the intro of the song appears in the verses. So you'll play these chords in each verse exactly the same as how you play them for the intro, with the exception on how to play F major 7/C on the 8th measure. The 8th measure is almost the same as how we play F major 7/C in the previous measures, but with a sequence of 3 notes gone. So on this measure, as the tablature shows, we do the same thing on all 4 counts. So we see lined up numbers at count 1, 2, 3, and 4, with a single number in between them. And those lined up numbers refer to playing the 4th string, the 3rd string, and 2nd strings at the same time. With the F major 7/C chord up on the fretboard, all we have to do is play the 4th, the 3rd, and the 2nd strings at the same time. So we have that at count 1, at count 2, at count 3, and at count 4. And in between those counts, we have a single note, and that refers to playing the 5th string at 3rd fret, and we have this finger there. And that happens in between those beat counts. So at 8 note counting, at a slow tempo, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and that's for the 8th measure. The 9th measure is a split measure between chords F major and A minor/E, with F major starting at count 1 and A minor/E beginning at count 3. Look at the tablature. But before we discuss how to play those chords, let me discuss with you the chords first. F major. F major chord is a bar chord. You have your index finger laid across all 6 strings, acting like a bar, and then your middle finger on the 3rd string at 2nd fret, your ring finger on the 5th string at 3rd fret, and your pinky on the 4th string at 3rd fret. But we're not strumming it. As the tablature shows, we are going to play it broken. As for the pattern for the right hand, we'll discuss it later. The next chord is A minor/E. A minor/E is like an A minor chord, but with the 6th string, the low E, as its bass note. The finger picking pattern for both chords is the same. Looking at the tablature, you would see that you have to pick the 6th string first, and then the 4th string, and then the 3rd and the 2nd and the 1st strings at the same time, and then back to 4th string. Now with F major chord up on the fretboard, and this is the shape of F major, you pick the 6th string first, right at count 1, then the 4th string at N between counts 1 and 2, then pick the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st strings at the same time, right at count 2, then pick the 4th string again at N between counts 2 and 3. So it goes like this: 1 and 2 and to complete the measure, that would be for the next chord, which is A minor/E. And right at count 3, you switch chord to A minor/E, and this is the shape for A minor/E. With the shape of A minor/E up on the fretboard, you pick the 6th string right at count 3, then the 4th string at N between counts 3 and 4, then you pick the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st strings at the same time right at count 4, And lastly, back to picking the fourth string at N between counts 4 and count 1 of the next measure. So for the whole ninth measure at a slow tempo, at 8-note counting, it goes like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Imagine all the beat. That's for the ninth measure. The 10th measure is another split measure between D minor 7th and F major / C, with D minor 7th starting at count 1 and F major / C at count 3. Fingering for D minor 7th is this. You have to press the first and second strings with your index finger and your middle finger on the third string at 2nd fret. The fourth string is left open, as this is part of the chord. And this is the sound, but we're not strumming it. As the tablature shows, it's going to be finger pick. For the other chord, which is F major / C, the chord shape is the same as F major, which you have learned earlier in the previous measure. The only difference is the bass note to be played. For F major, it's the 6th string, as this is an F. But for F major / C, it's the 5th string, as this is a C. So instead of picking the 6th string, it should be the 5th string. And for the finger picking pattern for the right hand, the tablature shows that right at count 1, with D minor 7 up on the fretboard, you pick the 4th string open right at count 1. And at N between counts 1 and 2, you have to pick the 3rd string. And at count 2, you have to pick the 3rd, the 2nd, and the 1st strings at the same time. And at N between counts 2 and 3, back to picking the 4th string. So 1 and 2 and right at count 3, we have to switch chord to F major / C. But to switch to F major / C, coming from D minor 7, you don't have to remove any of the fingers in place on the fretboard. You just have to add your ring finger on the 5th string at 3rd fret and your pinky on the 4th string at 3rd fret. So this becomes the shape of F major / C. So from D minor 7, just position your ring finger on the 5th and your pinky on the 4th strings. And again, from the tablature, it tells you that you have to pick this time the 5th string right at count 3. And at N between counts 3 and 4, you have to pick the 4th string. And at count 4, you pick the 3rd, the 2nd, and the 1st strings at the same time. And at N between counts 4 and at count 1 of the next measure, back to picking the 5th string. So it goes like this. 3 and 4 and... So for the whole 10th measure, starting with D minor 7, we have this sequence. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's for the 10th measure. So from 9th measure, it sounds like this. Imagine all the people. That's it. Now look at the 11th measure. You still see lined up numbers, but you'll notice all the lines are numbered, and that means all the strings are involved. And also you see symbols of down stroke and up strokes. So in this case, the 11th measure, the chord is to be strummed, and the chord there is G major. And the shape for G major is this one. You have your index finger on the 5th string at 2nd fret, middle finger on the 6th string at 3rd fret, and your ring finger on the 1st string at 3rd fret. The other strings, the 4th, the 3rd, and the 2nd, are left open. So all strings are to be strummed. And for the pattern, you have a downstroke right at count 1, an upstroke right at count 2, but at the end between counts 2 and 3, you have another downstroke, and the fourth stroke is an upstroke at the end between counts 3 and 4, and the last stroke is at count 4, and it's a downstroke. So you have to do 8-note counting, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... That pattern is not a basic strumming pattern. It's a complex because it involves quarter and 8-note strums. The first stroke, which is a downstroke, is a quarter note. The second stroke, which is an upstroke, is an 8-note. The third stroke, which is a downstroke, is another quarter note. The fourth stroke, which is an upstroke, is an 8-note. And the last stroke, right at count 4, is another quarter note. So at 8-note counting, it sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... With G major chord up on the fretboard, it goes like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's how to play the 11th measure. Now for the last measure of each verse, the 12th measure, you still see a lined up numbers, but it's just one set of lined up numbers. And the chord is G dominant 7th. And this is the shape for G dominant 7th. You have your index finger on the 1st string at 1st fret, middle finger on the 5th string at 2nd fret, and ring finger on the 6th string at 3rd fret. And you see a single downstroke. And that's all. This is actually what we call a whole note strum. You strum it right at count 1, but you have to keep it ringing for the whole measure. And that's actually what we call whole note strum. And a whole note strum is a basic strumming pattern. If you want to learn more about the other basic strumming patterns or rhythmic patterns, click this card for that lesson. So from the 11th measure up to the 12th measure, it goes like this. We have two chords, G major for 11th measure and G dominant 7th for the 12th measure. You can actually play G major this way, using your middle finger, ring finger, and your pinky. Instead of this finger combination, you can use this finger combination, so that when you get to the 12th measure, where the chord is G dominant 7th, you only have to position your index finger on the 1st string and let go of the pinky, as this now G7. So I believe it's much easier to switch from G to G dominant 7th with this finger combination than with this finger combination where there's a lot of movements. So I'll use this finger combination to play G major on the 11th measure and then switch to G7 by just moving my index finger here and let go my pinky at the 12th measure. So it goes like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and there. So from the 9th measure, it sounds like this. Imagine all the people living for today. Refrain is 8 measures long, and the right hand technique is strumming. All the measures are split measures except the 8th measure. You may say there are 5 chords involved in this part of the song. We have F major, which you already know, and G major, which you also know already. The next chord is C/G. This is C major. /G tells you that to play C major chord with G as its bass note, and that G is the 6th string, play the 3rd fret. as this is G. So you'll have to position your pinky on the 6th string at 3rd fret. If you want, you can switch position the ring finger and the pinky. That means ring finger is the one playing the 6th string and the pinky the 5th string. So if you're more comfortable with this finger position, then do it. So the sound is the same. The 4th chord is E major, and this is E major. Index finger on the 3rd string at 1st fret, middle finger on the 5th string at 2nd fret, and ring finger on the 4th string at 2nd fret. 6th, 2nd and 1st strings are left open. And the 5th chord is E dominant 7th. And E dominant 7th is just like an E major chord, but without the ring finger. So that means it's just these fingers. And since the chord sequence for these two chords in refrain is from E major to E dominant 7th, so all you have to do is, coming from E major going to E dominant 7th, all you have to do is take out the ring finger for E dominant 7th. So from E major to E dominant 7th. There are two sets of split measures for refrain. One is a split measure between F major and G major, and the other one is a split measure between C/G, E, and E dominant 7th. So one split measure has 2 chords, while the other split measure has 3 chords. Let's discuss first the split measure that has just 2 chords, the one with F major and G major. F major begins at count 1 and G major at count 3. And this is the pattern that I'm suggesting for this split measure between F major and G major. You see downstroke at count 1, upstroke at end between counts 1 and 2. And at count 2, just do a couple of downstroke and upstroke. And then at end between counts 2 and 3, you have downstroke. At count 3, another downstroke. At end between 3 and 4, an upstroke. And at count 4, another pair of downstroke and upstroke. And a downstroke at end between counts 4 and count 1 of the next measure. This pattern is not a basic strumming pattern. It's actually more complex than the previous pattern that I suggested to you. It's a mix of 8th and 16th notes. The pair or couple of downstroke and upstroke at counts 2 and 4 are actually the 16th note strums. So all you have to do is just count slow and steady and apply the sequence of strokes correspondingly. So at a slower tempo like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and the pattern sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Now let's apply the chords over this pattern. F major chord starting at count 1, G major chord at count 3. So it goes like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Now this split measure between F major and G major is followed by another split measure with different set of chords. C/G, E major, and E dominant 7th. C/G starting at count 1 and E major at count 3, but E dominant 7th at count 4. So it's something like this. If I'm going to strum each chord once, it's gonna be like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. You have to practice switching between these chords, C/G to E, quickly. Going to E dominant 7th should be easier as you only have to let go of your ring finger. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Just keep practicing first with just one stroke at each chord. Practice switching between 3 chords, C/G, E, E dominant 7th. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, look at this pattern for this split measure. You may notice it's similar to the previous pattern. Rhythmically, they are the same. The only difference is the stroke at end between counts 3 and 4. for the split measure with F major and G major, at N between counts 3 and 4, it's an upstroke. But for this combination of split measure, at N between counts 3 and 4 is a downstroke. And also you have to deal with 3 chords. So for this split measure between C/G and E major and E dominant 7th, it goes like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so that's how it goes. So you alternate these 2 split measures, and then on the 8th measure you only have a single downstroke and the chord is C/G. Right at count 1, and this is a basic strumming pattern which we call whole note strum. So at a slow tempo, the whole refrain sounds like this. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will leave us one. So that's how to play refrain. But actually, if you listen to the song, for the last measure of refrain, you do a single downstroke for this chord, C/G. But you'll hear a melody that sounds like this. And that's the tab for that part. So after a downstroke for C/G right at count 1, you play the first note, which is on the 6th string at 3rd fret. That starts at count 2. So it goes like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So that's how you play it. Well, that's it. I hope you find this tutorial clear, helpful, and valuable, as not only that it helps you how to play the song on the guitar, but it also helps one how to read guitar tablature, and also you have learned some finger picking patterns as well as some complex rhythmic and strumming patterns. And for the demonstration or performance, click this card. I also suggest that you get yourself a copy of the music sheet, as it will help you in the study of the song. It is available at musicnotes.com. The link is given in the description box. Did you know that John Lennon's grandparents were Irish? Click this card to get to know a YouTube channel that tells some stories about the Beatles. At the end of this video are end screens. One is a collection of music sheets, and another one is a collection of some tutorials about the Beatles songs. I hope you enjoyed watching this content. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you soon. God bless.